I got the random urge to just make a tier list for some reason, so that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. Now you may be wondering, why is there two tier lists? Now, because I know that a lot of my viewers are, people that don't play ZomMod, but I also know a lot of people that play ZomMod. So on the left is gonna be the pubs player tier list, because believe it or not, the infected are quite different from vanilla and ZomMod. So yeah, if you guys have any disagreements or agreements, let me know in the comments. But until then, let's start with the first infected, the boomer. Now, the boomer on pubs is an interesting infected, that's for sure. Okay. In pubs, if you get a 1 boom, a 2 boom, 3 boom, 4 boom, doesn't fucking matter. You're going to get the same amount affected. Wait, what? No matter if you get a 1 boom, 2 boom, 3, 4, 6, 7, 3, 14 boom, the same amount of common spawn, and that's gonna be a horde. Now, I don't know if getting a 4 boom or getting a 1 boom changes how many common spawn for pubs, but what I do know is getting 1 boom spawns a horde. And you know what you need a lot of to even touch survivors on pubs? You need a lot of hordes. You need a lot of things coming at them that they just can't kill instantly. You feel me? So boomer, just for being able to blind a survivor, spawning a bunch of infected, commons, and just overall being a goat. This is the S tier, in fact. Now, for zone mod, things get actually a little bit different. Okay, so in pubs, he would be an S tier, right? Boomer, unless you get a 2 to 4 boom, is actually kind of useless. Unless, I mean, if there's a horde, then that's different. But at least in the pubs boomer, if there's a horde and you puke on someone, you spawn another horde. And then after they kill that horde, another horde spawns. You know what I'm trying to, like, horde, and they can't see, they're getting flooded. That's the difference between the pubs boomer and the ZomMod boomer. So I'm gonna have to drop the boomer down a tier because of that reason. Now, if you get a 4 boom in ZomMod, it's just kind of Jover. It's just GG's. I'm not gonna lie, it's just kind of GG's. But that's more. That's more of the players just naturally being good at the game versus the boomer himself being actually good. No, not think about it, I'm throwing this guy in B tier for like, he's not really that useful. Okay, if you could avoid having him in a hit, you will avoid him. So I think in ZomMod, he's not bad. He still keeps his utility that he keeps from pubs, but he's just a lot more toned down, a lot more fair, and that kind of brings him down a bit. Now the next one is Charger S tier. I don't even have to say anything really. Like, you do 10 damage to scratch, you can't get shoved, and you had the longest get up animation of, like, I think it's like 2.5 seconds or something. It's like really fucking long, and they have no iframes halfway through getting up. So, and you got 650 HP, and that's what you really need against AKs and snipers. So Chargers is an S tier immediately. And guess what? I can say the exact same thing for ZomMod Charger. Okay, the exact same thing. Tanky, can't get shoved. The only difference is he does 7 damage per scratch on ZomMod instead of 10, which 10 is a lot. 7, like, I thought about it, 7 is huge. When you go back to playing with 10 damage scratches, bro, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. You could just 1, 2, 3 scratch, and that's typically what happens in ZomMod. Like, if you miss a charger, they kind of just ignore you because you're just useless. So you go in, you get like a punch or two, and you do 14 damage instead of 20, which is a lot. So yeah, Charger is easy S tier. Hunter, Hunter and pubs is the worst. In fact, like, even with wall kicking, like silent hunts, all the cheese, pounce, everything, you get countered by something that survivors are doing constantly, and that's shoving. Any infected that gets countered by shoving is immediately down here. And when it comes to pubs, the only difference, I'll probably put Hunter up here actually, because at least he pins the survivor, so they're able to get like a spit in and maybe do extra more damage, right? And maybe you might hit a crazy damage pounce or whatever, right? But I mean, the Hunter's kind of butt water. I mean, he is the only fight that I could pin downs, so He is pretty good. Damn, I would never thought that, huh? But when he's bad, he when he's bad, like Hunter's good, but once you get shoved, you're just a D tier. You're just useless. You're just a 6 damage scratch common infected, literally with 200 HP. Now on ZomMod, it really depends if you're playing Sita or center. If you're playing Sita, then he's a little bit better, but for the most part, he's actually, I would say, one of the best infected actually. Um, if he has wall kick, he's S tier. If he has wall kick, if he doesn't have wall kick, A tier. Simple reason right here, right? The simple reason. The spitter is just better on ZomMod than she is on pubs. I'm gonna get into it later when I get to the spitter. But if you hunt spit somebody, they're guaranteed losing like 10 HP. If you hunt spit somebody on vanilla, 1 damage. If the spitter is any late, then if the spitter isn't perfect on their timing, and the survivor's clear instantly, bro, useless. Literally useless. Pubs jockey, literally useless. Literally useless. You get disinfected, you are better off scratching. No joke. No, actually no joke. Before I started playing ZomMod and before I started making YouTube videos, I was a jockey main, and I could tell you that you are better off just clicking M1, holding shift, and doing a crouch B hop past the survivor, scratching like 2 of them, doing like 8 damage in total, right? And then bouncing again, doing another scratch until you just keep doing that over and over again until you either get a pin or you get shoved or your teammates get a pin, and then you can finally start playing the game. But 99% of the time, you just get shoved. You get shoved. You get one-shotted by snipers, AKs, one bursted by Scar, one-shotted by Deagles, even by downs. You do 2 damage a second, which is horrible. No, it's not 9 seconds. You do 4 damage a second, which is still horrible. And your DPS is just trash. Your only benefit is your burst DPS is 6 damage, which is the second best burst DPS, yes. But first place is 20 damage, nigga. Wait, actually no. That's third place because burst Hunter could do 7 burst damage. I'm leaving. So on ZomMod actually, Jockey's the best infected. And take every single reason I listed why the Jockey's bad, cross for it over, and then remove all the reason why the Jockey is bad post pin. This ZomMod Jockey does damage, good DPS. You can fully control the survivor so you can pin somebody and bring them further than 2 inches. You know, there'd be times where if Zone Jockey is able to bring someone around the corner, Pub Jockey ain't. You feel me? You do more damage. You're just better. You're just fucking better. Now, you still have the same issue of being a shitty ass infected when you spawn until you get a, like, you know, if you don't get a pin, until you get a pin, you're literally the worst infected in the game. But at least you don't have the threat of getting one-shotted, and you don't have the threat of, I don't know, not doing any damage. Now, Smoker is just really bad in pubs. Like, it really depends. It really depends the situation. So I'm gonna throw him in B, right? But a lot of the situations, you just spawn in, you smoke someone, and they get sniped. Like you do not only do you do less damage in zone mod than the zone mod equivalent, but like you're just bad. You're just bad. Like unless it's an instant smoke, you're just bad. You feel me? Like a great example is Dark Carnival Chapter 1 and Hotel. You can't really get a smoke, and if you do get a smoke, you're doing like 3 damage and then you're just dying. It's like what's like 26-second respawn timer to do 3 damage? Like, come on. Now Smoker and ZomMod is just A tier. It's A tier infected, right? Now if you're looking at you know, compared to all the other infected, he's still A tier. He does more damage, he does 5 damage throughout the whole entire smoke, right? He doesn't do 3 damage and then 5 damage. No, he does 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage. You don't have the threat of getting sniped and one-shotted instantaneously, ruining your day. You don't sit there for 26-second respawn timer just to do 3 damage, right? Your cooldown your cooldown actually makes sense. Like if you smoke someone and they get instantly cleared, you get a a faster cooldown. But if you smoke somebody and let's say you do damage and they clear, your smoke timer is reset. It's just smokers is overall better, but the threat of not getting one shotted instantly brings him up a tier. And also the players that play ZomMod are just naturally better, so you're actually able to capitalize off your smokes. They're able to capitalize off your smokes. Overall, the smoke is just better. The spitter, now the spitter. I'm throwing this shit in S tier, bro. Charge spit someone, they lose 80 HP. 80 HP. 80 HP for fucking breathing. And guess what? On pubs, if you miss with the charger, they can just teleport in your hands. I mean, same thing can be said vice versa, but the way how you could just grab someone, have the spitter spit on you, and then you do 80 damage minimum. Because it doesn't matter if the charger gets the slam or not. If the charger gets the slam, 80 damage. If the charger doesn't get the slam, you save the charger early, but the spit spat on it, the spit is gonna do 80 damage. It's just a broken combination. The spitter is just broken on pubs. But is she better than her zone counterpart? And I would say, in some situations, yes. But for the most part, I'd actually argue that the zone spitter is better. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because her spit damage is flat. It doesn't do 0 damage for the first second and then ramps up. No, it's flat. So it's doing 2 damage, 3 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, and so on repeat. Now, because of that, if you hunt somebody and you spit on them, even if they insta-clear, the spit is going to do at least 5 damage. So you do 6 damage to somebody. But typically you do a little more. So it's like more like 10 plus damage. Having the spitter's damage be flat instead of ramping from 0 to like 100 is such a good change. I'd actually argue that if we're doing this in order, right? If we're doing this in order, it's like this is like the order right here for like S tier. This version of spitter is way better than this version. Okay. So there's some situations, right, where it's like tied, right? But for the overall game's health, this version of spitter way better. the tank, yeah. The tanks is overall gonna always be a good zombie. Most people don't know how to play the tank, which is the issue, but playing the tank also isn't really hard. I just say the issue with the pubs tank is he could get chipped really hard, and going back to that 20-second that 20-second respawn timer actually kills a lot of infected. Like if you got the jockey and you only waited like 15 seconds to respawn, it's fine, right? But the fact that you waited like 20 some seconds to get this shit is just crazy. It's just crazy. The tank, although he is good, he buys time. Even if you're the greatest tank player in the world, you're just kind of get shit on by the Molotovs, the snipers, the AKs, the scars, deagles. You feel me? I remember, dude. I was camping next to a body one time in pubs, and the guy was doing literally 30 damage. Sorry, 80 damage to me. So he was like, pa pa. So 80 times 2 was like what, 160? Nigga was doing 160 damage to me a second. That is a lot of fucking damage when you have 1000 HP. So tank is really good. He can stop people in their tracks, all that shebang, all that good stuff. He's just worse in pubs. And in ZomMod, you already know he is the fucking GOAT, okay? Don't have to worry about snipers. Don't have to worry about Molotovs. Don't have to worry about AKs. Don't have to worry about scars. Don't have to worry about nada. Everything that counters you, that makes you a shit infected, right? That makes you go from A tier to from S tier to C tier, right? Because if you're fighting a competent team, low cap. Actually, no. I'm throwing tank and motherfucking B tier now that I think about it, because okay, this is new tier list, right? This is new tier list. Hunter is better than tank. I mean, it just really depends the team, right? But every single time I play pubs, ready? This is how it goes. Tank spawns. We look for tank. We just shoot him the whole entire time until he eventually commits, right? and then he commits, we throw a Molotov, he gets lit, we kill the hit, and then, oh wait, what happened? Tank dies 2 seconds later. That's literally how it goes every single time. ZomMod, tank lasts longer, tank's just better, tank has better support, there's no spitter during tank, toys, no Molotov, no sniper, no night, every single, like, Disinfected is just better. Now, I will say he's a bit slower than the pubs version, but that does not matter because your support is just overall better in ZomMod. You feel me? Now, last but not least, we have the witch, and in pubs, bro, she is literally fucking useless. Like in pubs, she is useless, quite literally. And Sita, she's a B tier. Like she's I. She's I. She's like C tier actually. She's like not really that important. Like she's important, right? Because she's a fifth infected, but she's not important because she's important. She's just important because she's the fifth infected. Like if she didn't exist, which in some versions she doesn't, the game would not change. If anything, the game would be better because it is. And pubs, chuck a Molotov at her, sniper in the head, and then just fucking, just walk around her. Like a lot of the times, the witch is just walk aroundable. Right? You just avoid it. But even when she isn't avoidable, she just gets sniped across the map and then just doesn't exist. But yeah, guys, this is my personal opinion at 1.5 thousand hours. This right, like the best hit is Charger, Hunter, Boomer, Spitter for pubs. This is the best hit. Sadly, you can't control it. It's RNG, right? But the best hit is Charger, Spitter, right? You always want to have Charger, Spitter, Jockey, or Hunter. Interchangeable, really interchangeable. And then these two, you don't really want to have these two ever. So that's my Left 4 Dead tier list. I think this makes complete sense. I don't think anybody would disagree with this. I think my pubs one might be a little bit different, but like tank useless, bro. Like tank just gets bopped. I mean, it depends. It really depends where. It really depends. But like any tank that is really good on pubs is greater on zone. Like, does that make any sense? You feel me?